Hi, everyone.
Hey, we are live back for the first time in over a month of our live Minnesota real estate, what's happening in Minnesota real estate show. Michelle and Chuck Carstensen here today, and we're both coming to you from home. Normally I'm in one of the offices, so today that means you're going to hear Michelle
working out some kinks here. Chill.
Michelle working out some kinks. Kids probably screaming in the background, wife banging dishes in the background. It should be a great production as soon as Michelle figures out how to
start my own watch party.
I got to do that too. So you take it from here, Michelle. Tell people what we've been up to in the last several weeks.
Okay, fine. When is the last time we've been on here? In June?
In June. I don't know when.
Wow. Well, that's probably because I was on vacation for a week. So then we weren't on there.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I think I sold 10 houses in July. Oh, it was busy. It was a wild, crazy adventure. So I think it was for all of us, actually. That's probably why you haven't seen us on here, because real estate's been booming for us, thankfully. Praise the Lord. So that's been good. Otherwise, so the market-wise, where we're at, we'll have Ryan Colbert with Lakes Area Mortgage on in a couple minutes, talking about the market, on the rates in the market, what's going on the lending side. Currently, still a seller's market in most areas. I was looking at some maps recently of where's a seller's market, where's a buyer's market. Very few places is it a buyer's market. I noticed around by Lake Minnetonka, which people would think, why would Lake Minnetonka be a buyer's market? And my thoughts on that would be because it's a higher price market. They don't sell as quickly unless they're under a certain price range. So if you're under like 600, probably sell right away. Anything over that, this is probably normally usually a buyer's market because of the price range of the homes. But otherwise, looking at a seller's market in most of the areas in Minnesota, multiple offers continuously on most of the areas in the Twin Cities. I write offers 20,000 over. And sometimes I don't get them. Most of the time I don't get them, not in the Twin Cities. And I would say the reasons based on that is because we have some buyers that need closing costs. If you need closing costs in this market, it's a little bit harder to get a house unless you can go up to a range higher than what other people can go up to. So that 250 range is super difficult place to try to get a house right now in the Twin Cities. So
Michelle, it's the first time we've done a 9:30 a.m. broadcast. There's a few people tuning in. You can watch us on YouTube, watch us on the Carstensen Team Facebook page. Some of you might be watching from mine or Michelle's personal page. We always like to remind people that you can share it. That would help us. Say hi, give us a like. We got the banner. Any of your real estate questions, you can be Ryan Colbert. Where's coming with now, Michelle?
I think you're freezing, but maybe I
freeze
don't
up?
see you freezing. Yeah.
No, I'm probably freezing on side. That's why I don't do this at home. So
yeah.
Yep,
you're freezing.
Well, you're in charge of the show then, Michelle.
Okay, you just watch the show and I'll just be in charge.
What I'm saying, we haven't done the show at this time. It's on YouTube, our personal pages, on our Carstensen Team Facebook page. So you're always welcome to comment with any questions. I got a Starbucks gift card. We're going to make a drawing if you like the show, or if you make a comment, you'll be in a drawing for our Starbucks gift card. We always like to do a little giveaway to get some interaction going. And get everybody up to speed on what's happening in the Minnesota real estate market. But we haven't done one at 9:30 a.m. So I don't know what people do August 9:30 a.m. now. What do you normally do, Michelle?
Probably making breakfast, starting to work. I don't know. I think we're just doing it at 9:30 because we know that there's possibility in about 10 minutes we'll get 10 Zillow calls and then we get to go show houses. So that's why we're doing it early, because if we schedule in the afternoon, then it'll be like one of us half here because somebody needs to be going to show houses. So.
Yeah, it's easier right now for us to do it in the morning. Hard to do it in the evening, more stuff going on now. And by about 11 a.m., when we started doing this in the evening, then we started doing it about 11 a.m. By that time, who knows what's happening? There's new stuff going on that we got to work on. So like Michelle was saying up front, assuming I'm still showing up on the screen here for a while, And we had a huge month of July, a really good month in June. Basically, into March, April was a little slowdown because of COVID. May picked that back up to say more normal. And then since then, it's just been wild and super busy. And like Michelle said, with all the Zillow calls, we get enough of those. At all random times. And a lot of those are people not buying for now, but then a few of them are. So we got to grab all those calls and help as many people as we can, because our goal is really to help as many families as we can in 2020 the best way we can. So, but a lot going on. So one of the things Michelle said was about closing costs are hard to get. Another thing I wanted to point out, if you're in the rural areas, like Stacy and I do a lot of business in the more rural areas, a USDA loan, they are hard to get an offer through. An FHA loan, we talked about this several weeks ago when we did the show. Hard if you're an FHA buyer to get a home in the cities. Hard if you ask for closing costs. USDA right now, they're about 6-7 days out from when you're clear through your lender's underwriting. So a lot of those are delayed now. Experience in that too. It's just random information on financing to be aware of. Ryan, speak more to that in a few minutes when he's on.
My thumbs down, which you probably can't see, is when you're freezing. So Chuck's internet is
now
not.
Michelle froze up, or
no, you're still frozen.
I'm frozen. Lucas, shut down the Xbox.
Stacy's says hi. Stacy's on vacation, so she will not be joining us today. Maybe we're not supposed to say that. She is. So she deserves it. She's been working hard. But yeah, like we said, we'll have a lender joining us here very shortly to talk about rates. I know back 3 months ago, we were talking about how good rates are. That I refied a 15-year loan at 2.75. I believe I could have done that now at 2.25. So maybe Ryan with Lakes Area Mortgage will talk a little bit about what the rates are. It always depends on your credit score, of course, and what size your loan is and such. But again, yes, he'll be joining us. And what Chuck was saying on FHA, you can get FHAs to go through easier if you don't need closing costs. If you need closing costs in the market in the Twin Cities, like you basically just might as well wait a month or two. I don't know. Keep trying. Like I've been writing like 20 offers for people. That's just, it's a hard thing to get through. And we can write all the clauses we want into that, which people probably doesn't know what that means, but we can write different clauses to try to get you to get the house. But in the end, if you need closing costs, people are just going to take the offers out of 10 that are either A, cash. If you have cash, you pretty much can buy the house. Or B, if you got like 20% down, not asking for closing costs, you'll agree that if the home doesn't appraise it, you'll still pay the price. There's a lot of things we can do, but if you need the closing costs, it's a hard market for that. So Chuck's still frozen.
Well, this will not be a raving review for Mid-Continent. That's what I'm saying. Not a raving review for Mid-Continent Internet. Work on their internet. That's why I go to.
Chuck can just like go outside. Maybe if you went on your phone, it would be better and you stood outside. Just saying.
I don't think I can do it from my phone.
Oh. I know that. Okay. Well, me and Ryan will just take over this 9:30 a.m. show for you.
But still, would you be freezing when I'm freezing, or am I just freezing? Is anybody watching this that can tell us if I'm just freezing? This will be one of these great recordings when it goes on my podcast page too.
Well, I'm looking at the feed on Facebook, which is about 3 seconds behind this one, and you're frozen and I'm moving. So.
Interesting. Well, Mid-Continent Internet, we are canning you when we move, which we do move soon.
Yeah, Chuck bought a house. You guys didn't know that because we haven't broadcast since Chuck bought a house. Chuck is moving. So if a realtor is moving during this time of year, that usually means that you should probably try to be moving. It's probably based on size of the house, places you want to be in case we get shut down during the coronavirus again. And don't want to be in your house. Like we talked about a couple months ago, I know we talked a lot about, no matter how many projects you're doing, do you really want to be in your house anymore if we have to be in our house? I actually tried to move too, but I didn't want to spend as much money as other people apparently. So the market's a little escalated in some areas. So Ryan Spendler says, Chuck is just freezing. Michelle looks good. Hey. Hi, Ryan. So you are freezing, Chuck.
Well, you don't need me today then. You get a solo show, Michelle.
I need you to let Ryan in.
Well, when he comes on, I'll let him in and I'll disappear.
Just disappear. On the side, I'm watching the Twitter feed as Minnesota State High School League decides what about fall sports, which is some of you know that watch my Facebook, obviously, and you're watching this on Facebook, that I very important for fall sports for me because my son is a senior football player, so he really wants to play football, obviously, along with a lot of other kids who want to be in their sports this fall as well. So they're just live tweeting the Minnesota State High School League. If you didn't know that, meeting on Twitter.
So yeah, tune away from the program and follow that.
No, you can do both, just like I'm doing. But yeah, just things that have been going on. Been selling a lot of land, lake houses. I do definitely see that people, if they find land, whether it's 50,000, 100,000 for hunting, it's, they say they're for hunting. So here's what I see. People wanted to buy hunting land or land to get away to like camp on or do whatever for years. And now finally they're like, oh my gosh, let's do it. Let's get out of here. So that's definitely what they're doing. I mean, I've been selling land. Stacey's been selling land. I think Chuck's been selling land, which you like, wow, that seems weird. Why would people be buying land? Because people don't have any money, right? No, people have money right now. So.
Yeah, they're saving more money because they're not going anywhere. So people have more money other than the few people who don't have more money. So most people do. I won't watch the media if I were you. Other than this, make this your media. We'll give you the right information.
It's true, though. Like, don't be scared of the real estate market. I mean, like we just said, Chuck's moving, got a good price for his house, got a decent deal on his house that he bought. I tried to move too, and I'll continue to try to move if I see something that comes up. And why would we be doing that? We'd be doing that because the interest rates are very low. Our houses are worth a lot more money than we probably paid for them. And anyone that bought their house like 10 years ago, remember like last year, they were probably evening it out. Those people should be able to get out of their house with equity now, depending on the area you're in. So most people refied, have a lot of equity in their house. There's some people that are refining and still buying. There's a lot of things you can do lending-wise, financially-wise with your house right now that you should be considering. If you have probably over like I think Ryan's trying to come on.
Ryan is there. He probably wants to get on, and then I can get off the screen for a bit.
Okay.
So Ryan, we're gonna bring you on, buddy. You're gonna be live in a couple seconds here. You're looking good in the background. Hey, Ryan.
Hey guys.
Hey. Hear you. Good.
I'm having issues with my mic here today.
I can still hear you.
Oh, now we lost him. Where did he go?
I don't know. Disappeared.
Well, maybe our production.
Oh, you're cutting out again, Chuck.
Back in. And if you're in a cave somewhere.
Chuck's cutting out again. All right. So I'll just keep talking since Chuck's cutting out. Let me know when Ryan's coming back on. We had a question, is there a sports update as well? Twins are pretty good this year. Hopefully they get to keep playing Major League Baseball. Looks like we're just trying to find Ryan here. What is it? NBA is playing, NHL is playing, like basically every sport's going on right now. So,
and a couple baseball teams are getting hit by the COVID bug.
Yeah,
or they have false positive tests just to create controversy. I don't know what really happens.
But are they actually sick? That's my theory. Yeah, they might be positive, but you don't hear anyone like being super sick on the team, right?
No.
That's my theory.
All right, Ryan's back. We're gonna try it again.
All right, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I was having some issues with my mic, I guess, on my computer. So.
No big deal.
It's a little soft. Can you turn it up a little bit?
Sure, I can try. Let's see here. How about now? Is that better?
I can hear you. So.
All right, go. I'm going to come off the screen for a while. Michelle, you take it away.
So Chuck keeps cutting out, so we're just going to leave him off.
Okay.
So we just kind of talked about the market right now because we haven't been on this show for like 6 weeks. So just bringing on, let us know who you are. Tell us what you do. Tell us stuff about lending and what's going on with that market side of it.
Perfect. Yeah, great. So my name is Ryan Colbert. I'm with Lake Erie Mortgage. I've been serving the Twin Cities community for over 20 years. so yeah, it's been an interesting market here the last since March, since coronavirus. We saw or we've seen interest rates really drop. And initially what had happened, and just kind of want to back up and how kind of rates work, because I get asked this a lot by people, because they've said, hey, I've seen that the Fed cut rates to zero, so hey, our mortgage rate's at zero. And so the Fed, and what the Fed does, the Federal Reserve, is they set the federal funds rate, and so they've put that as a target at zero, and so that the federal funds rate deals with the interest rate that banks can borrow money. So that really doesn't affect mortgage rates. The federal funds rate also affects prime rates, auto rates, credit card rates, and savings rates. So, but what happens is that mortgage rates are set by mortgage-backed securities. And so what happened is that when mortgage-backed securities, when those prices rise, rates typically fall. So when the coronavirus hit, what had happened was that bond traders quit buying mortgage-backed securities, and so because just of all the instability in the market, and so what happened was the Fed they jumped in, and then they started buying mortgage-backed securities to try and stabilize the market. So they're buying about $120 billion with a B of mortgage-backed securities in a month. And so what's happened there is interest rates now have fallen. And so, you can get a 30-year sub, 2.875% right now, 15-year below 2.5%. And these are really historic rates. I've never seen rates this low in 20 years that I've been in the industry.
Wow. Yeah. That's what we kind of mentioned earlier. I thought it was like low this spring. I think we talked about that too. And I refied and kind of got it cheaper now. So I've been reaching out to my past clients and just letting them know, so if you're over like a 4, you should really consider refining, right? Or like 4.5, or what is it at? I mean, I know it depends on factors, but briefly.
Yeah, so 3.75% typically is what we're seeing, where we can actually, save people money. And one of the really cool things that we're able to do is say that someone's been there 3 years into their loan, and they don't want to go back to a 30-year term, but maybe a 20-year, they don't want that high of a payment. We can actually redo their loan on a 27-year term. So we'll drop the rate. Their term's going to remain the same, and then they're going to save money each month. So we've been able to do a lot of things. We've been able to do cash out refinances and help people do some home improvement. And in a lot of cases, their payment hasn't changed. So if someone's above a 3.75% rate, definitely it's worth a look and seeing if refinancing makes sense. If you're going to sell in the next 2 years, you probably want to sit tight. But if it's going to be, your home for the next 5 to 10 years, I don't know that we're going to see rates this low, again, after we crawl out of this pandemic. I don't know that rates are going to be this low again.
Yeah, no, I agree on that. I mean, I usually see an election year, they go down a little bit. It seems like that's what I've seen in the last, 6-7 years. Of course, that would have been one election, but I've never seen them this low. I had a question yesterday from one of my past clients. They have a USDA loan. Can they refi those, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so they can redo their USD loan. They've got to save at least 0.5% on rates. So there's a couple of other restrictions on that, but yeah, they can do a streamlined USDA loan. We could do those on VA loans as well, as long as the veteran's saving 0.5%. In a lot of cases, we're able to do that. And then with the VA loan, we don't need an appraisal. And the USDA loan, I don't remember if that needs an appraisal or not. That would be something I'd have to check on.
So you don't do them that often, obviously.
I don't do them that often. No, I don't. We do offer them. I just don't do a ton of them.
Just don't do a ton of them. Well, I think with a lot of, because there's down payment assistance programs, there's not as much USDA anymore either. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, so I do have one USDA loan purchase that's going right now, which I think is the first one I've done in a while. But yeah, with all of the down payment assistance programs that are available, right now, yeah, I mean, that really is probably the best way to go, especially if you're buying in the metro where you can't get USDA.
Right. Yeah. And what kind of down payment assistance programs do you have running now? I know for a while in the spring, some people couldn't do them. And what's the lowest credit score your company can take?
Yep. So we do a lot of, we're actually one of the top Minnesota housing lenders in the state. And so they've upped their the amount that you can get. You can get a $10,000 deferred loan, and then if you meet certain criteria, you can get $13,000, and that's going to be like income driven. So whatever your income, so there's income limits. So whatever your household income is, household size, and then it's also if you're buying in the metro area versus outstate, there's just different criteria there. If you're above those income limits, you can get a $17,000 deferred loan, and so there is a income limit on that, but it's pretty high, and usually a double income house can usually be under that. And what's cool about those down payment assistance loans is that, especially the $17,000, you can use that for down payment, or 4-year down payment, and then also to pay for closing costs. And I know if you're in a multiple offer situation and you're a first-time home buyer, a lot of times the seller's not paying closing costs, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yep. So that's just another way to do that. The minimum credit score is 650 on those programs.
Okay. What's the minimum credit score you're taking all around? Because I remember it used to be around 620, 600, depending on what company is doing what. Where are you guys at?
Yeah, so we're at 620 on conventional, 620 on FHA, 640 on VA and USDA, and then the 650 is on those down payment assistance programs. And so within those down payment assistance programs, the underlying product is still going to be conventional, FHA, VA, and USDA. And so the minimum credit score for the conventional down payment assistance programs is 660.
Okay. And that might change eventually as well as we see different things coming across, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those programs are always changing. They have different overlays that they'll add. But yeah, it's a pretty fluid, it's a pretty fluid market right now when it comes to program changes. And coronavirus really has kind of wreaked havoc on a lot of those lower credit score loans that we were able to do. I mean, FHA goes down to 580 typically, and then they rolled those back after the pandemic started, and so they initially went to like 660, and so I was like, oh my gosh, what, because those borrowers that are sub 660 are still good borrowers and still can make their house payment. So
right, yeah, no, I hear you. So I'm glad it went down a little bit now. Do you still see people trying to do like forbearance and that kind of stuff, or is that kind of settled down now?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting topic, is forbearance. And so a lot of people, initially when they were laid off from their jobs, went into forbearance on their loans. So they contacted their lender and they said, hey, we've had we've been impacted by coronavirus. So will you allow us to, skip some payments? And really what they're doing is they're tacking on those payments onto the loan. I mean, there's a number of different forbearance programs that came out. So what's happened is, and what we've seen on people's credit reports that were affected and they were in forbearance, they weren't able to do anything, refinance or purchase. And so initially it was a hard stop, can't do anything. And now they've relaxed some of that because they've realized, we need to still allow these people to either refinance or buy. And so what they've said is you've got to make 3 payments in a row, timely payments, and get out of forbearance, and then you're able to refinance or purchase.
Wow, yeah, that's good information. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like brand new. Like the agencies just came out with that, and the agencies being Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Right now, FHA, I think their policy still is that if you're in forbearance, you can't do anything.
Okay, yeah, FHA is usually a little more strict. So I know you only got a little bit of time here. Is there anything else that you think we should know about, or I should know about, people that are listening?
Yeah, I mean, right now I think it's just really important that if you're interested in either purchasing or refinancing, sitting down with a mortgage professional and just going over and just doing a mortgage review of your current situation, because a lot of times it may not make sense to buy or refi at this moment, depending on what you're planning on doing in the next 2 years. And so sitting down with someone like you to figure out, is it better for me to stay in my house and do, just remodel it and add square footage, or, can I find something in the market I think that's important to sit down with a good realtor and figure that part out. And then same with refinancing. If you're going to move in the next 2 years, it probably doesn't make sense to refinance because you're not going to see the savings in those closing costs. And so sitting down with someone that's going to be honest and say, hey, look, this is what I would recommend. That's really a good way in this market to really make a good decision.
Yeah, that's good information. Thanks for joining us today, Ryan. I know you got to run to another meeting, but again, this is Ryan Colbert with Lakes Area Mortgage, and you still sit down with people with a mask and all that stuff if they really want to, right? Zoom calls or whatever you do.
I do, yeah, and it's been interesting because we've always, especially the past 5 years, we've done pretty much everything electronically. Like we have those capabilities to complete an online application, to upload your documents to our secure online document portal. So we've always had those capabilities, and people still prefer coming in and meeting. And then with coronavirus, people now have kind of migrated more so towards online. They're okay with that. But we still will sit down with people. We'll go over all their documents and their goals, and we'll talk about what are you looking to do here. And yeah, I'll wear a mask and definitely keep us all safe. But yeah, we usually do one or the other, or over the phone, online, in person. We're still doing all those. So. Okay,
sounds good, Ryan. Well, thanks for joining us today. And again, if anyone's looking to maybe possibly refi, buy, Ryan I know Lakes Area Mortgage is one of the best with down payment assistance, have them big loans that other companies don't have. And you have to take that in consideration when you're buying. Some companies have different programs than other companies as well. So.
Perfect. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Ryan.
Great seeing you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So, yeah, I could tell my phone works better. It sounds perfect and my computer cuts out. So we figured that out. I'm probably cutting out right now, I suppose. Michelle's
smiling.
No,
you're not. Are you on your phone?
No, I'm on my computer now. Oh. Well, I just won't be at home when I do this some other time. So, yeah, a lot of good points that Ryan shared there. That's definitely something you want to share. And always reminder, different lenders do have different programs that may work better for you based on your situation. And one thing we talked about one of our last shows several weeks ago is that refinancing is taking a lot of people out of the market. They're like, hey, I'm going to get in these 3% or 2.5% rates or whatever they are, or whatever loan term you have now. Well, if you do that, you're not as likely to go buy a house in 3 months or 6 months. Like, hey, I just refied, I'm staying. So that's one reason the inventory is still staying low. And this time of year, starting in the next several weeks or even soon, less people start listing, and we already had low inventory. What do you think is going to happen, Michelle, inventory-wise in the next few weeks this fall?
It's not going to get better. So people think it's going to get better. The only thing that might get better if you're looking to buy is people have now rented because their leases are up and they couldn't extend it any longer. So they're re-rented. So they'll have some buyers drop out of the market, which is normal for fall and winter. So I know some of the buyers I'm working with don't have to buy this second. If you have to buy and close in like the next 2 months and you have a tough loan, you just got to keep working. Eventually it'll work out how it's supposed to. I always tell my buyers you're meant to be where you're meant to be. But
do you think there'll be less competition for homes as we enter the end of summer or fall, or will it be similar competition as the last 2-3 months?
I think similar competition until we hit about October is my prediction. So the next 2 months we're still going to be battling.
Now, typically this time of year, in a general year that's not COVID year, into the summer, fall, some people think, well, people aren't moving and school year is going to hit. Do you think that'll be different since a lot of people can just opt for online or hybrid models, or what do you think will be different based on COVID for the fall?
I think more people still that's what I think. I think they're still going to keep looking because the kids aren't going to be going to school all the time. So then they're thinking about like what we're thinking. Where do we want to be when we have to be hunkered down for half the year or maybe the whole school year? Some people are going to be all online the whole time. Like, do we really want to be in this home? Do we need to buy a house that has like a room to put the kids in? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, especially with life rates are still low. People think about how do we invest our money now? How do we use the best money? If you have $80,000 equity in your home, you can put 20% down possibly in your next home and have like a 2.5 interest rate. Why would you not buy and sell if you can afford to go where you're going?
Well, yeah, and a lot of it, I've talked about this before. Our move was more, my wife's been working on me for a while, and I wasn't going to move. It's like, hey, we got a low pay this house, and then it started to make sense. We're going to be not going anywhere, staying home.
You borrows again, Chuck. Chuck can no longer do Zooms at home. So that's why I'm talking. Chuck's face is frozen. But I think what he's saying is his wife wanted to move, his daughter wanted to move, they wanted to move, so Chuck finally decided that he was going to move. And then with the rates low.
Yeah, but because it was.
There, he's back, yay.
Yeah, with the rates low, and because if you're going to be in the home more, I'd much rather be in a home that I want to be in. Nothing wrong with this home, but it's not the home I want to spend all my time in if you're going to be at your home all the time, whether it's working from home or playing from home. Now we got a house we can work from home a little bit better. We're going to create our own home gym in a dedicated room, and we got a lake out our backyard, and a nice little hot tub room for guys like me who have sore muscles all the time after my workout. So
that's funny. Yeah, no, it's good reasons to move. So definitely, like Ryan with like Sarah Mortgage said, Chuck, did you put his information on there? We can do that after if you can't do it. But what he was saying is like this is the lowest rates he's seen in 20 years, which means if you have a rate over 3.75 now, and you say you're in like you got like 20 years left on your loan, you should really consider refining either down to a 15, or he said that you can actually still refi into a 20-year loan, which I had a friend of mine do that as well. You can stay in the year you're in. You don't have to go up to 30. You definitely could go down to 15. Especially if you're in a 20, you probably easily can slide into a 15 with the same mortgage payment. If you have 4.5% and you can get a 15-year loan at 2.25, that's like half the percentage. Like that's crazy. Really consider refining.
And another thing people haven't thought about, like we're going to buy once we get closed in our home and another investment property. And the main reason, again, rates are so low on those and rents are high. There are still people who can't buy a house. Rents are high. So even that the market's high on properties, a lot of times it's your payment and cash flow you look at. And then there's other factors I looked at, like, hey, is this a house that needs work and I can build equity? That's not necessarily for me as a buyer, how I am. That's for somebody else for an investment property. For me, it's like, is it a clean house that I can cash flow a little bit and then have somebody else pay the mortgage? Like literally when you're renting, if you're still doing that, and don't have to do that, could qualify for a loan. That's the reason you should be looking, because you're paying your landlord's mortgage off and making them a couple $100 a month. It's not like as a landlord, we're making thousands of bucks a month unless we own it free and clear. But the couple $100, the tax benefits, and the fact that you're paying the mortgage off. Yeah, I want more people paying those mortgages off for me. So I'm adding another property, another roof.
Yeah, no, I can totally seize that. So that's a good idea. Did you freeze again? Heroes again. So he's talking about buying investment properties. Is that a good idea and stuff as well? But the interest rates on those are also way lower than they normally are. Anything with buying a house, refinance, probably even home equity loans. It's all like way better. I even had a guy take out a home equity loan on his house. I'm assuming the rates are way better to buy land for cash. So your home was worth more than what you paid for it in most cases. And then people will say, well, why would I stop renting to pay more for houses than I should? I get that question as well. Well, you're not really paying more because your interest rate's lower. You can be locked into that 2.75 for 30 years. Like that's a good investment with your money at that rate. So.
Or you can pay your landlord's mortgage one or the other. Help that guy, whatever. Help that lady. Yeah. Or help yourself. Now, I would not go and buy if you thought you're going to move halfway across the globe in a 6 months or a year, or if your life changes soon. You're not married, but you might get married. You're married, but you might get divorced and you're renting. Then probably don't go buy. But it's not like every situation you should buy. We're not that way.
No. But it's not. I mean, it's a good time to buy. That's not just us saying that because we're realtors, or definitely Chuck wouldn't be buying and I wouldn't be considering buying. We work a lot around the industry enough to know like this is a good time to buy. I don't care if it's a seller's market. It's a good time to buy.
Yeah, and I might have mentioned this before. I felt like I paid 10 or 20,000 more than the house was actually worth, but I realized that's what almost everybody's doing. And then if everybody's doing it, that means the houses are worth that much. And I felt like it was worth paying a little bit extra. So I got the property that my family wanted, compared to like wait till somebody like gives us a deal. That's not happening. There's very few of those. And why, I mean, I might get a deal over the next person because I do have a little bit of cash to work with and so on. But if you don't have any cash to work with on some of these first-time homebuyer loans, impossible to get a deal. You pretty much just got to make it work and get a house. I don't want to say impossible, next to impossible to get a deal if you're buying in a competitive area. If you're buying out in Timbuktu, maybe might work.
Otherwise, you got to wait it out. Yeah, I mean, out of the cities, I see, out of the cities, 45 an hour. I am getting people some closing costs, but in the Twin Cities and suburbs, I know we talked about this a lot, and we're almost going to wrap it up here, but we do work in a ton of areas. We work about most of the time all the way up to like Duluth or further. Over to Chuck's got some listings where like Grand Rapids, Brainerd area, Todd County, Stearns County, Benton County, Wright County. I would go over to Wilmer, sold houses there, down to Rochester, Mankato. Like we're all over. So if you need help, we actually know those markets just as well as most people, unless they like literally sell in one town. Then they probably know everybody in the market. So, but yeah, we can help you in lots of areas. So that's why we see lots of different markets and what's happening there.
And I realized Michelle didn't actually share this video to my page, so halfway through it, I had it on like share, but on the Carstensen Team page, I had it like 17 times on the Carstensen Team page. It's just video. I don't know.
Yeah, mine's got a watch party. Had a little bit of questions, so
I was wondering where are all the people? Because well, first of all, we announced it yesterday. Secondly, I didn't even put it on my page, which I thought I did.
No, it's good. There's people watching on mine anyway, so I can see that. But yeah, I mean, basics of our jumping on here today is giving you like an August update on what the market is. We didn't do it last month because we were really, really, really busy. That doesn't mean that we can't help you. Like I said, a lot of the times we're doing videos, obviously video things for people we're helping. We can show you in person. We can help you buy land. We can help you buy a farm. We can help you buy a house. I mean, there's three of us, so there's always one of us helping you. And that's a really nice thing I noticed about this summer is our team works super well together. So I don't know what other teams do, and great for them, but we work really well together. We're always helping each other. We all know the market really well. So even if you have one of the other person show you the house, they still know the market, and you're getting out to the houses. So when you're working, I'm not trying to like sell our team, but when you're working with us, we're not going to say we can't show you the house because there's three of us. One of us will show you the house, and we will get you there on the first day. That's how we work. Chuck agrees. Nodding.
I agree. I'm nodding my head. Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And we're out there for, like, I feel like I work with a lot of agents, and I'm not saying they're not out there for your best interest, because there's a lot of good ones too. But we're actually out there for your best interest. We're not forcing you to buy a house that's overpriced. We trying to get you the best deal, but also like meeting the needs. The goal, if your goal is to move, we will get you to your goal. Like that's what we're here for, So
yeah, and I think one of the biggest things people don't realize, unless you're done a recent transaction, and some of them do go smooth. A lot of them, there's bumps in the road, and we handle over the years of doing business so many different situations. So a lot of times we have the answer, or we can get the answer, or it's just a matter of realizing what's going on in everybody's lives. That sometimes in a market that probably seems tougher for buyers, that, there's still, even if it seems like the seller's not giving anything, what else makes sense to do? And sometimes it's just helping people talk through the situations. And, there's a lot of steps in the real estate process. So that's why a lot of people don't like to use rookie realtors, or don't like to, or like to use a team, because then somebody's there to help you. Like Stacy, like we said, is out of town. I was helping her with somebody she'd been working with that I had known as well, kind of move forward where for a moment there it wasn't actually looking like it was going to move forward. And then I got in there and like, here's what are you looking for? What's happening? Updated everybody, got everybody's feedback, and went from, it's going different directions to boom, back together. So we're able to help each other that way better and more effectively than I think a lot of people are. So I just like, our communication is pretty good right now. Like I said, I'm selling a house and I don't feel amazing about the communication for the other agent buying my house. It's like, okay, I'm not going to worry about it. But it's like, boy, hopefully we're closing next week. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we see a lot. We're always checking with our lenders. We're checking the title company, making sure we're not perfect, but making sure we're help. I helped a guy buy a house like 2 weeks ago. He's been looking for over a year. He was working with one agent in this area that I helped him find one. And literally I met him one day. I saw a house pop up. I sent it to him. I went and helped him. I helped him buy it. And he's literally like, I've been looking for a year and you literally found me a property in 12 hours. Now that doesn't usually happen. That's what I'm saying, but I will look for other properties in other areas through other agents, do wherever I need to do to find you a house, because there isn't a lot out there. So we will do our best to just dig and pry and see what we can find, where other agents might be just like, all right, well,
call me when you see something.
Yeah, and then I'll be out of town. So then call Zillow and the Carstensen team will tell you, well, we can't really help you because you already have an agent unless you don't want to use them anymore.
Or we'll tell you that it just popped on Zillow 2 days ago, but it sold 3 days ago. It's too late.
That too. So yeah, that's a good info. I'm glad Ryan got to join us because that's really good news on the forbearance stuff, that if you aren't doing FHA and you pay 3 months in a row, they'll let you get out of it basically and buy a refi. So that's awesome.
Awesome. Okay. Yep. Let's wrap it up. I gotta maintain my body and go to the chiropractor now and get them loosen up these bones and muscles that are all tight from all the workouts I do and so on. And yeah. Anyway, nobody needed to know that, but now they do.
TMI, Chuck. TMI. Well, I'm gonna watch the Minnesota High School League thing and see what we're looking at this fall. And anyone, course, looking to buy anything or just want like a free estimate on their house, we can do that. Or if you're looking for a lender to refi your house, let us know that as well. And we'll put Ryan's information under here. So
all right. Good job, Michelle. Way to take charge. Bad job mid-continent internet. So
yeah, that's for sure. All right. Bye everybody. Have a good day.
All right. Bye.